extra steal for San Antonio. They've got a great prospect here in Malachi Branham. Mentioned he went to St. Vincent, St. Mary's. You go there, you can never be the best player in school history because of LeBron James. But Malachi Branham, and there's LeBron James. That's back in 2002. He was drafted in 2003. That was my first draft with ESPN. It was a pretty darn good one. But he is a three-level scorer. He's got a great shooting shot, really uncommon, and a very fast learner. He shot 83% from the foul line this last year. That was second in the Big Ten. He's excellent 7 feet and in. He gets to his spots. His mid-range game is outstanding. Another really good cutter, an excellent finisher, and a really good pick-and-roll handler. As a defender, he's athletic. He can stay in front. He doesn't get a lot of steals, but he stays in front. And once he got 35 against Nebraska, you knew he was on his way. His last 11 games, he averaged over 19 points per game, shot 57% from the field. So made a huge jump late in the season, which you don't often see with young players, and they run out of gas as freshmen. He didn't run out of gas. He stepped on the gas at the end of the year. I think he's going to be an outstanding NBA player. This is a great pick for San Antonio.
And what a great moment that we are getting to see now as he heads across the stage, shakes hands with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver in a fresh jacket, I might add. And Jay, I mean, you said it, a steal, you think, that is headed to San Antonio.
I actually thought he could have been taken in the lottery. Wow. He's a really talented young player. Is he a guy that could have gone back and dominated in college? Yes. But when you look at what even a guy like Murray, averaged 7 points a game year before last, and last year he comes in and averages 24. You're going to see a jump. It's going to take Branham a little while, especially physically. He's not NBA ready today, but he's going to be NBA ready pretty darn soon. He's really, really talented. In a league where wings that can shoot it and drive it and finish and defend are in high demand, he fits the suit.
Absolutely. Well, on the clock now are the Denver Nuggets, and they had a little bit of an interesting year, Kendrick, because Nikola Jokic, I mean, put this team on his back without Michael Porter Jr., who was coming back from injury, without Jamal Murray, who was also experiencing injury. We saw him become the MVP of the league for the second time. How do you see them faring next season, assuming that they get healthy?
You know what? They're going to be one of the best teams in the Western Conference. Just remember, when Jokic and Murray are at their best, and Murray tends to turn it on when it matters the most. I call him a postseason player. He kind of turns in the regular season, and when it matters the most, him and Jokic really become one of the better duos in the league. And we already know Michael Porter Jr., the sky is the limit for this kid. He's a walking bucket. He's getting better defensively. And we all know that Coach Michael Malone is going to hold guys accountable and get the best out of his players.
Well, speaking of Coach Michael Malone, let's take a look at Denver's timeline here, because Nikola Jokic, I love that the team traveled to Serbia to hand deliver. Get this, actually, they had to carry on the MVP trophy because they were afraid of checking it because they didn't want to lose it. And they got stopped because it looks like kind of like a big glass,
Yo, what is good? I told you we have special guests here. These ladies, they know all about basketball. They almost made it to the NBA, but that was in middle school. So,
I did win a basketball tournament for the freshman.
Oh, nice.
I was
Didn't everybody?
yeah.
So, Malachi Branham, you got 10 more things in this appreciation
That's a good developmental piece, and really whenever it comes out of the Spurs, the best like the Indiana Pacers, the Miami Heat, and the Toronto Raptors, whenever it comes out of player development.
Okay. Megan?
Yes.
You know all about Malachi Branham,
Yeah.
right?
Of course.
He's a prototypical wing, right?
Right.
He's an offensive threat.
Right.
He fits well with the Spurs with Murray. I can see him playing really well with alongside Murray.
Yeah.
Plus, he was a coach pop.
Correct. And I run a sports bar, so a lot of people come out and just to watch tonight. They came out to watch the draft, and you hear a lot of talk, and a lot of people were talking about Malachi and Kai and all them. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got these girls are team Kai, right?
Yeah.
I solo. Okay. They watched a ton of our videos because they're day one fans, so they all know about Kai solo.
you can't run a sports bar without knowing about sports. So, you know, I kind of resort to this channel for that.
Let's see.
I love this. When young men are in the stands and they make their way down for their big moment, and there he is, Christian Brown, out of Kansas. That trade the commissioner announced, our Adrian Wojnarowski reported earlier. But right now, this is Christian Brown's moment. Why do you love him?
Because he fits that system. He's excellent movement without the ball. He's a good floor spacer, and the way that the Denver Nuggets run their offense through Jokic, you need players like Christian Brown.
Yeah, he's a two-way player. You know, he's very well.
Listen, they what is it? They don't know Kai. You guys know Kai.
Yeah.
What's the last name? So,
No.
we're working on it, guys. Listen. I need.
No, I'm being put on the spot. And
So, what about Christian Brown's draft?
Christian
He
Braun,
was supposed to go late in the draft. You said right?
not late, but somebody wanted the Milwaukee Bucks to pick him up or projected him to be like around the 27th or 3rd pick.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting to see is Nikola Jovic has not been selected yet. Just imagine him going to like the Miami Heat. He could be a point guard at 6'10". He could be, I don't know. Who's up next? The Memphis Grizzlies. If he goes to the Memphis Grizzlies, I'm pretty sure that he will be an immediate impact player.
100%, yeah. Especially with James Jackson. I mean, dude, that would be an intense defense. What you think? If he.
you just said I wasn't
The
listening.
Memphis Grizzlies are an NBA basketball team.
Look, you guys, she doesn't
I don't know nothing.
She
I don't know
knows,
nothing.
she knows nothing about basketball. We just met this man. It's okay though.
Hey,
Emotional support.
LSU Terry Houston is Rockets. Houston Rockets.
Yes.
Terry Houston, he's that.
My favorite thing that ever happened with the LSU basketball was Sharif O'Neal just had recently, well, this season he started with LSU basketball, and he made a comment after making a three-pointer. He said, well, this is the first time that you ever heard O'Neal for three and then P-Mac, which is
Hey, yo.
actually really funny.
So what's you guys obviously good on sports, right?
Yeah.
What's your favorite sports moment that you guys know? Or is it maybe your parents?
I'm from Louisiana, so Super Bowl 2009, whenever the Saints won the Super Bowl. When Colston I'm sorry, 2009, and that's whenever it was right after Hurricane Katrina, and after Hurricane Katrina, like the whole state was devastated, and Drew Brees came in, and he completely reshaped New Orleans, gave us hope as a state, and really, you know, put us back on the map after something so devastating, and just giving the whole city hope, and that's why he is so, like,
Yeah, it was inspirational, especially that what's the name? You got like
Magulang daw natin yung
Saints.
kahit anong daw lutuin eh. Yung kamay na lang.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I love college football.
so what's your, hold on, we got to pick one. We got to pick one.
From Auburn University.
For the first time in a common draft era, Auburn has had multiple players selected in the first round. Walker Kessler started his career at North Carolina. His father, Chad, actually played at Georgia, was a fifth-round pick in the '87 NBA draft. He was ranked the #1 player in the state of Georgia by ESPN. He's the first player in Auburn history to receive SEC Defensive Player of the Year honors. And now, his moment, as he shares the hugs with his representation. What exactly are they getting today?
Well, they're getting the best shot blocker in the draft. He had 2 triple-doubles this last season, and it's because of having double-digit blocks in each one of those games. You know, he averages 6.5 blocks per 36 minutes. Wow, that's really remarkable. He's a tremendous route threat. So he can set a screen and then roll to the basket, short roll, but you can throw it right up to him, and he goes as high as he needs to get it. You know, he only shot 20% from three, but he does have a good stroke, and I think he's going to be able to be a reliable shooter from the perimeter in time. Because he's still a young player. This is his first year really playing gigantic minutes. But the FCC Defensive Player of the Year, the Naismith National Defensive Player of the Year, he was just a terror around the basket that covered up the rim from 12 feet and in.
Well, and then this is his handshake, his moment with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. I mean, serious shot blocker. All right. Well, now it's the Philadelphia 76ers that are on the clock, and it has been just a roller coaster of a season for the 76ers. A whole lot going down. Let's take a look at their soap opera.
Tensions have been simmering between Simmons and the Sixers all offseason.
He intends to never play another game for the franchise.
This one I don't care about that man, honestly.
Everybody would love to have Ben Simmons, but it's at what price?
The Brooklyn Nets, they are trading James Harden to Philadelphia for Ben Simmons.
This is the most potent offensive duo that this league has. Targeting the same game. One a lethal combo platter.
Tonight is the date that we've had circled on the calendars.
In a playoff-like atmosphere, the Nets suck the life out of the place.
No one under more pressure in the playoffs than James Harden.
And again, out hustles all of the blue jerseys. Philadelphia, for the fourth time in the last 5 years, is eliminated on its home floor.
Nobody expected Houston James Harden. Like, that's not who he is anymore.
All right, Kirk. We have watched this unfold all year long. What are your thoughts on what transpired in Philadelphia?
You know, it was a lot. But, you know, some would call it a failed season. Not me. When you have one of your all-stars and a superstar caliber player, Ben Simmons, that shut it down and basically quit on the team at the beginning of the season. They didn't mope. They didn't want anybody to feel sorry for themselves. They went out there and they competed. They were a top 5 team in the best conference in the Eastern Conference. So it wasn't a fair season. I know James Harden didn't perform like he was supposed to, but I still think their season last year was still a bit of success.
Okay. Well, we have some news, so I want to check in with our senior NBA insider, Adrian Wojnarowski. Hey, Woj.
Malika, Philadelphia has traded the 23rd pick to the Memphis Grizzlies for DeAnthony Melton, a guard. And Memphis is going to draft David Roddy from Colorado State here. Now, they picked up 2 picks, Jake Arabia from Wake Forest, and a deal with Minnesota, and now David Roddy from Colorado State. So, as expected, Daryl Morey moved out that number 23 overall pick to bring in a rotation guard in DeAnthony Melton.
Anthony Melton is on the move. Our Adrian Wojnarowski, thank you so much. Jay, he mentioned David Roddy. What can you tell us about him?
Well, he's an undersized big guy, but he can shoot it. David Roddy was the Mountain West Player of the Year. Another guy who's a 3-level scorer, but a talented player, just sort of undersized.
Absolutely. Well, the pick is in. Let's go to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver to see, once again, as our Adrian Wojnarowski reported, Philadelphia will be picking, but this pick will be on the move to Memphis.
With the 23rd pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select David Roddy from Colorado State University.
David Roddy, a junior forward, 595 points last season, the 5th most in a season in program history, Jay.
Yeah, barrel-chested big guy that's got really good ball skills. We mentioned he's a 3-level scorer. He can shoot it. He can go down into the post. He shot 44% from 3. One of the best post scorers in the draft. A good ball handler and a good passer. A very talented passer, but he's got really quick hands. Just knows how to play.
Here's some more behind the scenes of the draft.
Yo, Scott, so this is David Rodney. I don't understand what's going on, man.
Let me tell you guys, for one, Nikola Jokic is still on the board. If the Milwaukee Bucks don't pick him, it will be a big mistake. Travesty. I mean, a point forward, somebody that can shoot the ball and actually hit the 3-point shot is something that's underrated.
Are you okay?
So, I was watching
having a good time watching the NBA draft. We're having fun. You know, it's just us here for y'all. We appreciate y'all joining the stream. We love Kai Sotto. We're going to teach you what Kai Sotto is. Scotty Ice is going to give you some NBA stuff. Some good stuff on these draft guys. Because, like, what's happening already with Polly going first, right? Yeah, Polly going first. We had Chet. You kind of knew that Chet was going to go second. And then the Rockets gave Jabari Smith, who should have been the first pick. That's crazy. Keegan Murray going to shoot. Yeah, maybe fourth
to the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let me tell you guys, we are not Kai Sotto bandwagoners. We support foreign players. And honestly, I already said Usman Dean would be a high draft pick, which he was projected higher. I mean, he was projected lower. And I keep saying Nikola Jokic. So that's something good for the NBA to have more foreign players. I mean, the league is more of a finesse league now than it was before.
It is a finesse league, bro. You have to it's not even for like guys like Mark Winners, right? The guys that we're talking about. Like, it's just not like that anymore. Call LeBron James the best player in the history of the NBA. Who do you guys choose? LeBron James or Michael Jordan?
MJ.
And? Huh?
Who was the league?
I think I said LeBron.
Yes, sir. Bye.
Bye, guys. I knew it would trigger him, and I just wanted to laugh. That's why I said it.
LeBron James. All right, we'll be back after this commercial break. We love you guys. Stay with us. Kai Sotto will be drafted. If not, Dexter will owe you a video, bro. We'll be back.
So, you got an idea for a business, the store of your dreams. There's just one thing to figure out. Everything. That's why Shopify's all-in-one commerce platform makes it easy to sell online.
This young man has a tremendous story, soaking in this moment with his family.
Really out.
It has been an absolutely remarkable journey.
People realize what it means to get your name called on the record.
Marshawn Beauchamp, he grew up in the heart of central Washington, 60 miles southeast of Mount Rainier. So chasing the summit, it's been something it's come naturally to him. He tried various routes to reach tonight. He attended 3 different Seattle area high schools, traveled to the Southwest himself to rigorous training instead of college, and then in 2021, the trail led him back to Washington at Yakima Valley College, where he appeared in 12 games for the Yaks. He signed on with the G League Ignite for the 2021-22 season, and this was a breakout start. You could see the emotion there. Just incredible. He experienced homelessness at one point in his life. I want to bring in our Bobby Marks for more on this wonderful young man's journey.
Yeah, Malika, this journey has been unwinding. It's been to a point where at one point in his career, he thought about just quitting basketball altogether here. And he goes back to Yakima Community College, moves back home, and rediscovers the love of playing basketball. And now he's a first-round pick. So it's a tremendous success story for him. It's a tremendous success story for the G League Ignite that now has 2 players that have been drafted, and hopefully a third in Jaden Hardy here. But just a great story with both champs.
This is a remarkable story, Bobby, as you said. Let's take a look at him heading up to the podium. This is a moment that I can only imagine, Jay, as he clearly is thanking God that he has been thinking of, has been working toward for years.
Well, you mentioned it, just the long journey that he's had to get here, and now it's just the starting blocks for an NBA career. But when he was at Yakima Valley, he averaged 30 points, 10 rebounds. He's another one of these long-armed wings that can really play. You know, he can defend. He's quick off the floor, athletic, explosive. He's got a ton of ability. But I love what Bobby Marks said about he rediscovered his love for the game. And the fact that he has worked so hard and played so well for the G League Ignite and finds himself in this position, it's really just the start of his career, even though he's had an amazing journey to get to this starting point.
Well, the Milwaukee Bucks, we mentioned Giannis earlier, just a roster full of guys that have really impactful stories. Bobby Marks mentioned the G League Ignite picks tonight. He joins Dyson Daniels as those picks that we've already heard. Again, just the emotion of this family, the moment that they have worked toward for so many years, coming to fruition as Adam Silver calls Marjon Beauchamp's name. Just, I mean, what an incredible moment. It's what you were talking about earlier, Kendrick, in that this is a night where it's about everybody. It's about the emotions, it's about the work, and then it's about finally crossing the stage.
Absolutely, and you brought it up. It's about the journey and the process and the steps that you had to take to get to this point and the sacrificing. You know, this young man's story is remarkable. You could tell like he's been dreaming of this moment. Even probably when he was down there in the G League, you know, waiting to get that his name called in the NBA draft. But these are the moments that you live for. If you want to see it from his family, you want to see the emotions from him. And I you know, it's just, I've been there before, so I understand.
Well, these are the kind of stories, right, that you see movies that are made about. But Jay, when you're watching a player, when you're watching them go through the G League process or the college process, and then you see them at this point, I mean, for you, how does that separate when they're working through things like this when they get to this moment?
Well, on this night, it's always a celebration of getting here and getting drafted and having your next life in the NBA start. But then you got to start thinking about what are they going to be in the NBA.
Right.
Because I really mean that about this is the starting blocks for the NBA. How many guys have gotten drafted? They've done better than you think. Some don't do as well as you think. Mm-hmm. And this is the starting block.
Absolutely. It's the starting block for all of these young men as we hear their names called. And we're about to hear another as the San Antonio Spurs pick is in. Let's send it back to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver.
With the 25th pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Blake Wesley from the University of Notre Dame.
Blake Wesley selected. He's from South Bend, Indiana. He wasn't actually ranked in the ESPN 2021 100. He was a four-star recruit, though, that led Notre Dame in total points steals. Jay, what do you like about him?
Just about everything. I mean, he's a terrific young man. His dad played at Ball State. He comes from a basketball background, but he can get his own shot. You know, he's athletic. He's got a great burst, and he plays with energy and intensity. He only shot 30% from three, but he does have a good stroke that just needs some work to get more consistent. And he's got very good defensive potential. He reminds me a little bit of Bones Highland from BCU. But coming out, he's certainly much younger and not a finished product. But the fact that he's so athletic and he's got the skills to create on his own. Well coached by Mike Bray at Notre Dame, and just a really good prospect coming into the league.
Well, you can see the Spurs picks tonight. They've had a handful in this first round. And one of those players, we have their coach here tonight, Scott Drew. Thank you so much for joining us here on our set. I mean, I'm just gonna get.
Hey, I got Jay. Hey, all I know is the Bears had a good year for on this stage, baby. Back-to-back top 10 picks. We get to keep Jeremy close to home. The Spurs 2 hours and 45-minute drive. 2.5 from Magnolia. You know about that.
He already timing the drive.
And we got more. Kendall Brown, hopefully James Kinjo. We'll wait to see what happens.
What's it like for you as you hear these young men? I mean, you've heard it before, but every year I imagine that it is special.
Well, just like you guys said up here, it's so hard to get your name called, and the emotion and excitement, adrenaline when they do. And we coach to see them reach their goals and dreams. So being here and supporting them, it's a great night for us.
And with Jeremy Sohan, you know, I was a little surprised he got taken that high, but his talent level demands it.
Yeah.
You know, you used him as a point guard at times, especially that Kansas game. What do you think his ceiling is? What can he bring in the NBA?
Well, first of all, both of us are envious of his hair. I mean,
He leads the hair color.
And see, that's part of his versatility. You know, I mean, he's versatile on the court, off the court. But his versatility, I mean, what he can do defensively, guard 1 through 5, offensively play 1 through 5, just like Pop always wants fundamentally sound guys. You know, our strength coach wants us to bring in guys like Hurt, so that it looks like he's doing a good job. You know, when you bring in a fundamentally sound player, it looks like us coaches know what we're doing.
I don't know, whatever coffee that you were drinking tonight, can we have a little bit?
Oh,
Because
your team up here is
your
the
energy.
money, I tell you.
I love your energy. Well, we had Jeremy Sohan wired for sound here tonight. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Yeah, it's getting real. We're excited though, you know. So it's a one-time thing. So I gotta stay in the present, be with my family, and just have fun. My heart rate is going crazy. I don't know.
I mean, that is just so wonderful.
Hey, by the way, that's how we dress for class at Baylor, you know?
Can we all get matching ones? I think that would be a good look. We look good in lavender. I think we would do that. What piece of advice do you give your players on draft night?
Well, first, to get to draft night, you got to get better each and every day. Draft night, you enjoy it, be with family, friends, and loved ones. And like you said, it's the beginning, and it's just the start of the process.
Absolutely.
So anyway, we're excited to close to home to be able to see it.
Absolutely. It's the start of the process. The next pick is in, so we're going to send it back to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with us.
Thank you, guys.
Exciting
Great seeing
tonight.
you.
We have another trade to announce. The Charlotte Hornets trade the draft rights to Jalen Duren, the 13th pick, to the New York Knicks for a conditional first-round pick and for 4 future second-round picks. With the 26th pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Dallas Mavericks select Wendell Moore Jr. from Duke University.
Wendell Moore Jr. on his way to Dallas. 13.4 points per game, 5.3 rebounds. Jay, I know his versatility stood out to you.
Yo, we have our first trade of the night. So we have Philadelphia 76ers, they got D'Anthony Melton. Memphis, they get the number 23 pick, which is David Roddy. Then the Memphis is going to get the number 19 pick, which is Jake Rubia. and a future second round pick, right? Then you got the Detroit Pistons, who got the number 13 pick in Jalen Duran. They also got Kemba Walker. Charlotte gets a 2025 first round pick via Milwaukee. And what New York did is they were able to just get rid of cap space. They also got a 2023 protected first round pick. We got 2 of those actually. 3 of those actually. And the Lakers get this year's 35th overall pick. This was a huge trade. Oh, no, it wasn't. Yeah, it was. Oh, I'm tripping. All right. So, Philadelphia 76ers and the Memphis Grizzlies did a trade. Philly got the incomplete overall pick. And then the trade that just went through just now was LA or Orlando. They got the 35th overall pick. So trades are just going crazy. And I wish that's what Roach said was going to happen. You guys know who Roach is? He's the NBA insider for ESPN. Yeah. You know him. He's going to walk on Roach. Yeah, the guy with the yes.
I know where.
You know who it is.
And look, that trade, so that trade you just saw last night, which trade, right? That was the trade that they didn't. They traded Christian Wood. They traded away that 26 overall pick to the Houston Rockets.
Gotcha.
So the Houston Rockets just got who was that thing? I should be watching. I'm playing 2K. Pull up. If anyone wants to play against me in 2K, please pull up.
Anyone with the need, pull up.
Free dubs. Free dubs.
I got it. Meet me on the court.
I mean, let's see.
I feel like I'm just like sitting here awkward.
Talk about the time with friends. Yo, this girl, she travels the world. You're going to Canada in a month, right? 2 weeks?
In a week and a
In a
half.
week, right. So, a couple guys are from Canada in the NBA. We got Andrew Wiggins, who just won the finals championship with the Golden State Warriors. Okay, so that's good guy right there. And then you got Barnett from the New York Knicks. He actually went to Duke too. Or Zion.
Yeah.
She's a huge, of course, New Orleans Pelicans fan. So you were saying, I don't know, you were saying when we were on break that that in French, you notice a lot of people stay up and watch their games because of the time difference.
Oh yeah, no, they were, a lot of people that I used to hang out with when I was living in France would stay up until like 6 o'clock in the morning watching NBA games. And I'm like, y'all are insane.
And yeah, NBA is worldwide. NBA, I think, is the biggest sport right now in the world. Would you agree? Yeah. It transcends almost everything.
Yeah, I know that most French people at least don't care about American football.
Yeah, 100%.
Or really baseball. I think it's very boring.
So you called it, didn't
They
you?
love NBA.
Yo, go check out Scotty Ice in Milwaukee. This man put out a video, how many years ago? On June 11th, saying that the Bucks were going to draft Marjan Beauchamp. That is the draft this one.
Well, I think he was going to be drafted at that spot.
All right, let's get back to the draft. We'll see y'all then.
I just want to bet that he can be with Dallas.
Ba't walang sounds?
Wala. Nag-mute kasi yan. Automatic. Kasi minsan, nakababatas na ano. dalawa, apat, bakubahan.
Score for himself, but to make others around him better. And that's one of the underrated things about his game. We look at his points and we say, hey, he can go out there and get you 18 to 20 a night. And we know he can rebound at an extremely high level. But he's a guy that could go out there and get you 5 to 10 assists. Hell, he could get a triple-double if he wants to, just off his playmaking ability.
And that's something Miami evaluated when he was at Kentucky that I'm not sure I saw, is that how high level of passer fan out of Iowa.
Well, let's see who is headed down to South Beach. The pick is in. Let's send it back to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver to see who exactly it is.
I have another trade to announce. As part of a trade to be finalized later, the Philadelphia 76ers are trading to the Memphis Grizzlies the draft rights to David Roddy, the 23rd pick. And with the 27th pick in the 2022 NBA draft, the Miami Heat select Nikola Jovic from Belgrade, Serbia.
I'm surprised he one bit.
Why not, Big Perk?
Because we know he's a sniper. We know he's a shooter.
Nikola Jovic. He was born in England. He moved to Serbia at 9, and he started playing basketball at 13. Jay, what will make him successful, do you think, in the NBA?
He's super skilled at that size. He can shoot it, he can put it on the deck, and he can pass it. Yeah, he's unusually skilled at that size.
Bobby Marks has been entrenching himself with these international players. Bobby, what have you seen from him?
Well, Malika, as you said, he didn't start playing basketball until he was 13 years old. He is a former water polo player, grew 8 inches in the last 5 years here, and has the skills of certainly of a point guard. He's got length to shoot over smaller defenders here. You could put him on the court right now. And at the FIBA U19 a year ago, shot 36% from 3, made all tournament team here. Another nice pickup for the Miami Heat. Something they lacked when you got into the playoffs is that stretch four that you kind of come off the bench and make shots for you.
Well, some fans may be rubbing their eyes like, wait, I've seen a similar name to that before. That's because there's another notable Serbian player, a 2-time MVP, in fact, that sounds a little bit like him. That would be Nikola Jokic, not to mention Bogdan Bogdanovic. And you can see some notable Serbian players who played in the NBA, both past and present. Well, now it is the defending champs, the Golden State Warriors, who are on the clock. So let's take a look here at their roller coaster ride that has been the last couple of seasons. Because remember, they reached extreme highs. That's always the fun part of the roller coaster. And then there are some extreme lows too. But first, let's go back to 2009, drafting Steph Curry. And then a couple of years later, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, the Splash Brothers are born. They hire Steve Kerr. And a year later, they win an NBA title. And then they bring in Kevin Durant. They won 2 more NBA championships. So this is when we start calling him a dynasty. But then he heads to the Brooklyn Nets. Injury bugs hit within the Warriors. Klay Thompson misses time. Steph Curry misses time. Draymond Green is really the only one out of the big 3 who is on the floor. And then they bring in Andrew Wiggins, who so many thought was going to be just a trade piece for this team. But all of a sudden, he was playing a significant role in their journey to winning an NBA championship. You can see them enjoying the parade in the streets of San Francisco for the first time, not in Oakland anymore. Places, count them, Captain Clay, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see the Curry family. Draymond Green showing the youngster JTA how it's done in the Bay. Mac Dre. Sorry, can you not tell him from the Bay?
Yeah.
That's how that all went down. But Jay, what's so interesting about the Golden State Warriors is that so much of their talent, yes, they acquired Kevin Durant, yes, they acquired Andrew Wiggins, but they have drafted from the ground up so much of their talent that is unique in this current NBA. Why is that? What made them so successful there?
Well, I think Golden State understood. I mean, all the teams understand it, that you have to build through the draft, and they did it methodically, and they made good decisions without having top 5 picks every time. You know, they took Steph Curry at number 7.
Yeah.
I think it was 2009.
Yes.
They took Klay Thompson 11th, and then got Draymond Green 35th in the second round. They just made good decision after good decision. They wound up getting James Wiseman. They drafted Jordan Poole. They drafted extraordinarily well. Even when they've been at the end of the first round, when they've been in the lottery at the top of it, all that, their decisions were great. You got to give great credit to Bob Myers and Mike Dunleavy, their whole staff, that have just made spectacularly good decisions. They made good fits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strength in numbers seems to be more than just a mantra for them. They're able to find these players sometimes deep into the first round, even into the second round with Draymond Green, who says, fascinatingly, that he remembers every single one of the players who was picked before him. But you can see, look, that's Draymond Green, who's at the draft headquarters saying, hey, I just want to make sure who's coming to us, what kind of culture are we building here. He'll go tape a podcast probably after this to let all of us know his thoughts on who will be his new teammate. There's Steve Kerr. You can see him as well, but the pick is in. So let's send it to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver to see who will be joining the defending champions.
With the 28th pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Golden State Warriors select Patrick Baldwin Jr. from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee.
He was a huge high school recruit, Jay.
Yeah, Patrick Baldwin Jr. out of Milwaukee played for his father last year, and he did not have a very good year. But all his numbers are good. He's 6'9", he's got a 7'2" wingspan. Very, very talented. He was expected to be a lottery pick after his freshman year, but he was injured, didn't play much, and really struggled in his first year. But that doesn't mean he doesn't have talent, because injuries really caused him to miss most of the season. He's got good mechanics on his shot, a high release, and another guy moves really well without the ball, and can see the floor very well. So the foundation is there. He did have some lapses last year. He got passive at times, but the talent and the foundation is there. And we just talked about Golden State making good decisions. Clearly, they see the talent that's underneath the performance that didn't match up to the talent this year at Milwaukee.
Well, maybe that makes Golden State a perfect place for him to land because of the care and the time they put into development. We've seen that with blending these young players and these seasoned champion experienced vets. We will be right back with more from the 2022 draft.
NBA Draft 2022 is presented by State Farm. For surprisingly great rates, like a good neighbor, State Farm is.
You know that show I was telling you about? Yeah, I was so.
Wasn't expecting that. It was
Literally? Sorry. Nice. Let's see you working your angles a little bit there. Good work. All right. Let's take a look at this well-traveled pick, shall we say. It has bounced around a whole bunch of times. You can see our Adrian Wojnarowski's reporting there on the screen. But ultimately, it will end up with the Timberwolves. You can see all of the details, exactly how it is shaking out there on your screen. What the Rockets receive, what the Mavs get, the Timberwolves. But now the Grizzlies are on the clock, and their pick is in. Let's send it to Commissioner Sotto.
With the 29th pick in the 2022 NBA draft, the Memphis Grizzlies select Ty Washington Jr. from the University of Kentucky.
And the Grizzlies just keep on winning. Good God. So they're going to miss it.
Yeah. Ty Washington, you can see him there celebrating with his family. His mom is his inspiration. You can see him hugging his Aunt Penny Bradbury there. But his mom, battling diabetes, she actually bought on a portable dialysis so she could attend his games, so that she could be here. He's quite the locker room guy at Kentucky. He's also incredibly competitive. He was the 14th ranked prospect on the 2021 ESPN 100. And when he was at Kentucky, he wore number 3 because of one Mr. Allen Iverson. James.
Well, Ty Washington has an excellent mid-range game. He's got a great runner, floater. He can pull up. And pretty low error rate. He had about a 2.5 to 1 assist turnover ratio. But he shot 52% on his runners and floaters. The one thing we talked about on Johnny Davis earlier is how he performed against top 25 competition. Now, Ty Washington got hurt during the year, but he didn't perform quite as well against top 25 teams. Averaged under 10 points, 35% from the field, and only 22% from three. But when Samir Wheeler went out with an injury, he stepped in and had 17 assists in his first game as a point guard. That broke that Kentucky single-game record that was held by John Wall. So Ty Washington, I think it actually mitigates in his favor that Tyrese Maxey and Emmanuel quickly did so well in the NBA early on in their careers that, you go in, you play a role, you play within a team concept under John Calipari. Is Ty Washington capable of more in the NBA? I think he is.
Well, he was wearing, obviously, the Memphis hat, but he is on his way to Houston with her.
I like it. He's going to go fit right on in with the Houston culture. They're building something with the Rockets. I was very critical of them about 2.5 years ago, but now I see the vision, right? They're starting with the foundation. I think this was a steal for them. He's going to work well, player development. Shout out to the H-Town for holding it down.
Well, not to mention Stephen Silas, who's been a wonderful person to work with and to watch him coach and start to mold these young men down in Houston. Once again, the Oklahoma City Thunder. I feel like we've talked about them all night, Jay. This was already on the move, though, right? So we can look at the details. Our Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting on the screen. This is what the Thunder received. This is what the Nuggets received. We are at the end of the first round. How do you think teams are looking when they're looking at this sort of level of player? How do they make these decisions today?
I think they're still looking for the best available player, but sometimes at the end of the first round, you don't want to say take a flyer, but you might want to take a player that's got significant upside.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw Golden State take Patrick Baldwin Jr., who didn't perform well last year. I think everyone would agree, but the foundation is there for him to get way better, and he's got the skill set to be way better. Are there players like that have tremendous upside value at the end here that you're not too worried about, because you're using the 30th pick on it? Upside is something you're looking for here.
Well, the pick is in, so let's send it back to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver to see who will be rounding out the first round of the 2022, I get it, Commissioner, NBA draft.
With the 30th pick in the 2022 NBA draft, the Oklahoma City Thunder select Peyton Watson from UCLA.
What do you like about Peyton Watson, Jay?
Well, just what we talked about, the upside potential. Peyton Watson, Another guy who's 6'8", has a 7-foot wingspan. McDonald's All-American, but
You guys are so sweet. Thank you.
But he didn't show it as much in UCLA last year, but he's a skilled player that's got good athleticism, solid on the defensive end, only shot 23% from three, but he can be a high flyer that can finish and a lob target, and he was able to block some shots in the minutes he got at UCLA, but he played on a veteran team, and so physically he's not there yet. He's a longer-term project. You could argue that he might have been better off going back to UCLA and trying to become a dominant college player before he came into the NBA. But that's exactly what we were just talking about with Patrick Baldwin Jr. and Peyton Watson going with the upside rather than the productivity that they had out of college.
Well, you can see him making his way down from the stands. I love when players who have come all the way, even though they're not in the green room, make sure they get their moment on stage with the commissioner. You can see him there getting his, and once again, this is on the big.
That concludes the first round of the NBA draft. Thank you to the passionate fans here at Barclays Arena. The second round will be conducted by Brooklyn native and Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and thank you very much.
I want to bring in our front office insider, Bobby Marks, who has more on the last pick, Peyton Watson.
Yeah, Malika, Jay hit it right on the head. This is a upside pick, and when you're Denver picking at 30, you can take the risk on taking a player that averaged 12 minutes a game, 3.3 points a game. That is the fewest amount of any first-round pick that we have seen here. So this is going to take a little bit of a while. But when you have a Denver team that has the MVP, the reigning MVP back-to-back years, and Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., a playoff team, you can wait. And this player is certainly worth the wait. Only 19 years old, he's 7'1" wingspan.
Thanks, Bobby. That's exactly what Jay was talking about, right? It was the fact that we have time. These teams have time toward the end of the draft to develop, potentially, or the end of the first round, rather, to develop these players. Take a look, though, at the draft headlines as the first round wraps up. The Magic, they selected Paolo Banchero. A little bit of a surprise, number 1 overall, but that surprise, that Magic, that is what draft night is all about. And then 4 Duke players. Jay likes this, selected in the first round. That is tied for a program record, not to mention the third time the 2 Canadians taken in the lottery since 1985. But there are plenty of good guys still on the board here, Jay.
E.J. Liddell probably be a first-rounder. He's in the second round now. Kennedy Chandler, Tennessee. First, we've talked about Jaden Hardy from the G League Ignite. There are a number of players. Trevor Keels, who has first-round talent. Same thing with Bryce McGowan from Nebraska. Christian Coloco of Arizona still available. And Scott Drew was just up here. Kendall Brown of Baylor, another upside pick. An interesting player from Toledo, Ryan Rollins. And then Justin Lewis from Marquette. I think those guys could go early in the second round.
Well, so that means get your drinks, get your popcorn, because we still have so much more to come, including hearing from the number 1 pick about Paolo Banchero. That is coming up, as well as the second round after this.
Orlando. Magaling yan. Okay lang. Pero mas magaling si Smith dyan, yung number 3.
Johnny Davis.
16.
The toasted cheddar chalupa is back. Only if and our most advanced safety system ever.
You guys are so sweet. This is like one of the first times that we've done this because like we're really anticipating the NBA draft. So thank you guys for all the support. Don't forget to subscribe to us because we'll be making appearances every now and then.
So much fun. I didn't make this gonna be fun.
I know, this is so much fun. And it's really cool watching the NBA draft and it's really interacting with everyone. So thank you guys for tuning in.
Wala na, hindi makukuha sila dito.
And all things that are great one day come to
Ano kaya? Yung?
over who will run the Lakers. Those carry over onto the court.
There's never enough success to go.
Lakers secrets. What kind of numbers?
Wala namang drop yung mga yun. Walang drop yun. Walang first drop yung mga yun.
It's just baked beans. It's your size.
Doing your best to eat healthy? Try Smarter Greens from Force Factor. With more than 40 superfoods for better energy, immunity, digestion, and heart health. Great nutrition is easy and affordable with Smarter Greens. Rush to Walmart for Smarter Greens from Force Factor.
Everyone knows to get wireless savings, you need to be on a family plan. Oh,
For Visible, I get unlimited data for as low as $25 a month. No family needed.
I guess I spoke too soon. Visible. Single line unlimited data as low as $25 a month.
Welcome to the absolute world of cocktails. Here, everything is mixed. Expression, personalities, friendship. Absolute forms of mix.
This is the day. I can't believe I'm here.
Welcome to the 2022 NBA Draft.
Still with the next generation NBA stars.
One of the best moments of my life.
I was praying that the New York Knicks would be up just to get you.
This is what it's about. It is not just being a player getting drafted into the NBA. It is a journey the entire family is going on.
I can't believe I'm here.
Welcome back to the second round of the NBA draft presented by State Farm. We're going to send it to NBA Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum to kick us off in the second round.
Good evening, everyone. It's always good to be back in my hometown of Brooklyn, New York. Thank you for joining us for the second round of the 2022 NBA Draft as we continue to welcome these young men into the NBA family. And remember, every pick matters. For example, this year's back-to-back MVP, Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets, was the 41st pick in the 2014 NBA Draft. So here we go. With the 31st pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Indiana Pacers select Andrew Nembhard from Aurora, Ontario, and Gonzaga University.
Another Zag off the board, Jay.
Well, Andrew Nembhard is a big lead guard. He averaged about 12 points per game, but he averaged 6 assists per game. He's got the ability to facilitate. He can be a scorer and a passer, and he's an elite passer. In pick-and-roll situations, he is surgical. He comes off, makes great reads the primary, the secondary, the tertiary defender, and he's a very good on-ball defender that defends pick-and-roll very well. Very good at getting deflection. Started his career out of Florida. So one of the criticisms of him in Florida was he didn't play fast enough. Then he goes to Gonzaga, and he was with one of the most high-powered offenses and ran the break. He's a good player. I thought he could have easily been a first-round pick. But this is a good pick, I think, to start the second round.
Well, that's what Mark Few does. All right, the Orlando Magic, they are now back on the clock, and we saw them have the number one pick where they drafted Paolo Banchero, and earlier he stopped by with our friends on the ABC set.
The guy that's joining us on the set right now. That is the number one pick overall.
No mystery here. No mystery. Well, you know, it was a mystery for a lot of people, including Paolo yourself, on who was going number one. When did you find out that the Magic were going to take you number one?
Yeah, you know, so 5 minutes before, they were on the clock, my agent just told me, be ready for anything, He wasn't sure about anything, but he told me to be ready. And then probably like 20, 30 seconds before the commissioner, walked out to announce the pick, he looked at me and said, congratulations. So that's how it happened.
So as a number one pick, as the face of a franchise, so many times people are going to talk about things that happen on the floor. But I believe one of the big reasons why you went number one is the things you're going to bring off the floor and in the locker room. Talk about that side of what you plan on bringing to the table in Orlando.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like, I'm a great leader, and I don't force it upon anybody. I'm just a guy who will go get along with all the guys in the locker room, but also have a competitive mindset and bring a winning attitude, bring a fierce competitive mindset, but also, work with my teammates and pick their brains and, just try and be the best leader I can be.
You watch the league, you've seen what this is all about, and you knew what you were entering into. What do you expect of yourself your first year in the National Basketball Association?
I expect to have a great year. I expect to, come out and show what I can do. It's going to be ups and downs. It ain't always going to be pretty. But, I'm going to come in and I'm going to do what I do. And so, I'm confident in that, and I'm ready to, get out there.
Expect him to also have the fits as well.
My goodness, you certainly brought it, Paolo. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
There is Paolo Ventura once again. That was earlier tonight in his moment as he walked across stage. But Jay, not the only Duke player that we saw go.
4 going in the first round. Trevor Fields still on the board. 5 pros in that lineup. Pretty impressive.
Well, the pick is in, so it's sent it back to the podium and Denver on the air. Earlier tonight.
As part of the trade to be finalized later, the New York Knicks are trading to the Detroit Pistons the draft rights to Jalen Duren, the 13th pick. With the 32nd pick in the 2022 NBA draft, the Orlando Magic select Caleb Houston from Mississauga, Ontario, and the University of Michigan.
Another Canadian, Jay. What stands out to you about his game?
Well, another guy with upside, 6'8", 7-foot wingspan. Caleb Houston is a shooter. He's got shooting ability, he's streaky. There's questions of whether he can create on his own, but he can stretch the floor and knock down shots. He's not a big-time rebounder yet, but he's drafted for his shooting ability. And he led his team in three-point field goals made last year. He made 60 for the Wolverines. But this is another upside pick. With time, Caleb Houston, I think, is going to be a good NBA player.
It just goes to show you, too, how valuable and important the wing position is, right? No, seriously, like, we look throughout this draft, it's been every other pick or every pick has been a wing, and it's valuable. And I think, again, Caleb is a guy that you're going to bring in and you're going to slowly develop him. The way that the Orlando Magic is constructed, we might come in and play some valuable minutes right away.
Well, the Toronto Raptors are back on the clock now, but I want to take a look. So much of the draft, right, is the great moments that we get to see. So I want to take a look at tonight's surprisingly great moment that's brought to you by State Farm. Since last year's draft, we saw Scotty Barnes defy assumptions, go from an unexpected pick to the Rookie of the Year last season, the 3rd in franchise history. Vince Carter, our colleague and friend, was one of them. And then also we saw Fred VanVleet have an all-NBA 3rd team selection. We talked about this with the Miami Heat day, but Toronto is, again, another one of those programs that just has a track record of churning out these excellent young players. What is it about their program?
Well, they've made some really good decisions, too. I mean, Scotty Barnes, I think we knew he was going to go top 5 or 6. He wound up going 4th. I mean, it wasn't a huge jump for him, but I think it was a little bit surprising to a lot of people that he turned out to be Rookie of the Year, given the talent that came out of that draft.
Yeah.
But, they went with, he's such a good defender. And looking at some of these players, guys that are versatile and can shoot it. Mm-hmm. And, Scotty Barnes could make a shot. I think he's going to be a better shooter, is continuing to improve in that area. But the versatility, the length, his ability to rebound, handle the ball, play as a point guard. I mean, you mentioned it, all these athletic wings seem to be dominating the draft. And, it used to be big guys. Well, you're taking big guys. You had to have a center, and you had to have power up front. Mm-hmm. And now you got to have skill and be able to stretch the floor and stretch it.
And be two-way players. And again, I'm going to give credit to Masai Ujiri. And in my opinion, might have the best eye in the game of basketball when it comes down to evaluating talent and drafting talent and making that talent, and getting that talent in the organization, and they have the ultimate success, right? You look at a guy that he did draft and picked up for his Fred VanVleet, an undrafted guy made the All-Star team this year. Scotty Barnes, Rookie of the Year. Pascal Siakam, we saw the leaps that he has taken since being in the Raptors uniform. So shout out to Masai Ujiri. I think he's, one of the best minds in the game of basketball.
I think it's not only was surprising when we saw that maybe Scotty Barnes elevated to that Rookie of the Year level, but I think after the departure of Kyle Lowry, a lot of folks thought, well, perhaps this Toronto Raptors team is going to be in much more of a rebuild mode, not necessarily pushing a playoff run.
No, and it look, it was part of getting back pressures, right? In that trade, it just Usari, while we were sitting up here thinking that they were just going to be a team that was in the rebuilding mode, he had a different vision, and he proved us all wrong.
Well, the pick is in, so let's send it to Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum and see who will be headed up north.
With the 33rd pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Toronto Raptors select Christian Koloko from Douala, Cameroon, and the University of Arizona.
Christian Koloko headed to Toronto. I know this was a guy that you were high on, Jay.
I think this is a really good pick. I thought Christian Koloko had first-round talent. He's a rim-protecting big guy, and his defense and his energy really stand out. They played against Oregon last year. He switched off late in the game onto Will Richardson on one possession and Jacob Young on another, and guarded him the whole possession. There aren't a lot of guys his size that can do that. In fact, I think he's the only one in this draft that can do that. I think Christian Koloko brings a lot of value, especially the second round.
I agree. Very, very solid pick. Reminds me a lot of Clint Capella, a guy that's going to protect the basket. Also has enough skill to make a post move and go to work at times. But he's a live threat at the basket. I love this pick out of Toronto Raptors. I think they definitely needed the center. Like old people need soft shoes.
He said, like, all people need soft shoes. Well, he began playing basketball when he was 12 years old. Still, it seems a lot of development that he could have in the NBA, which is something that Toronto excels at. Oklahoma City now on the clock. Once again, we're talking a whole lot about him. I do want to talk a little bit more here about Christian Koloko. For you, this is a guy you kind of were pegging as someone from a long ways away. I mentioned that he began playing basketball at 12 years old. His journey, Jay, is just so fascinating to me.
Yeah, so many guys have had this kind of journey. It's so fun to watch them not only have success in college, which Christian Koloko did, but playing under Tommy Lloyd. I asked him, like, how did you get Koloko to make the jump from last year to this? The first thing he said was, we loved him. When he made a mistake, we weren't jumping all over him. We were encouraging him. And he really blossomed this last year. But he's unusual in his defensive ability. A lot of times the guy that size can be talking just about shot blocking and his offensive rebounding, which is really good. But his ability to switch off and move his feet and stay with the guard, you don't see that very often.
Well, and that's what lends in part to that Clint Capella comparison.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the next pick is in. We will send it back to Cody.
With the 34th pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Oklahoma City Thunder select Jalen Williams from the University of Arkansas.
Jalen Williams from Arkansas. I know on the defensive end of the floor, Jay, he stood out to you.
Well, that's where he really stands out. 6'10", another guy with long arms, but he's a grit and grind big guy. He's got heart, he hustles, he's really smart, and he can really rotate on defense. He led the country. I mean, he took 54 charges this last year. He's just a quick twitch athlete, and he's effective as a roll man in pick and roll action. He's not a shooter. He only shot 24% from three, but he crashes the glass, averaged nearly 10 rebounds per game. He's really what you call a great glue guy, but his defensive instincts are excellent.
Absolutely. The Lakers, they're on the clock now, but I also want to make sure that everyone sticks around because Jaden Ivey, he sat down with our Monica McNutt. Just such a special connection that he has with his mom that we got to share tonight as he was drafted to the NBA.
A lot of people assume coaches are looking at plays on that clipboard.
Just like they assume they can afford great insurance.
Hindi makukuha si Kay Sotto.
The surprising great rates to fit any budget. Call or click to get a quote today.
Singing or speaking. Breathing is fun. Dick was thoughtful. Sensitive and strong. Progress is everything. Progress is everything.
Today people are walking to a bar. Was forced to order a single logs. That's third. Nuevo Topo Chico Margarita Hard Seltzer. Crafted with real lime juice and crisp tequila flavor. Topo Chico Margarita Hard Seltzer.
There's no way, Chowder.
Unbelievable. That is what you play with the shot.
Back him up, shot down.
I'm just tired. I have to find a way to fix this. Let's see now. But whatever comes,
We always believed the welcoming spirit was a small town. Turns out, we were wrong. Wherever Jim Beam is welcome, he'll be welcome too.
This pepperoni was carefully placed by hand by a pizza maker at Papa John's. Just like this one, and that one over there. Ooh, and even these in the crust. Get yourself the new epic pepperoni stuffed crust pizza, only at Papa John's.
The Stanley Cup Final, Game 5, tomorrow on ABC and ESPN+.
Dodgers, Braves. Freddie Freeman returns to Atlanta on Sunday Night Baseball.
NBA Draft 2022 is presented by State Farm. For surprisingly great rates, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And in part by MLB The Show 22, rated E for everyone.
The Los Angeles Lakers, they're on the clock. Remember, they acquired this pick, as first reported by our Adrian Wojnarowski, by the Orlando Magic. That pick is now in, so let's send it back to Deputy Commissioner Martin.
With the 35th pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Los Angeles Lakers select Max Christie from Michigan State University.
And he's in the stands, hugging his family. He's the first McDonald's All-American to commit to Michigan State since Jaron Jackson Jr. in 2017. Jay, what makes him so special?
Another value pick. He's a wiry shooting guard that operates very well off screen. He's got a really good shooting stroke. He only shot 32% from free this last year, but he's got a good stroke, a high release, and shot 82% from the free throw line. I'd say he's a solid defender, so you look at him as another 3-and-D guy. Wound up being a little streaky this last year, but he's got a lot of potential. I think if he would have come back to school, we'd be talking about him as a first-round pick next year. Just needed a little bit of time to develop, and he's going to have that when he gets to the Lakers. And also went to the same high school as Jimmy Garoppolo.
Ah, there you go. Well, I mean, he has the time, but also you know the pressure cooker that the Lakers could be, the bright lights that shine there, Jay.
Yeah, I think LeBron will take a little heat off.
Yeah,
That's yeah.
Just a little bit? Okay.
But I think, I think he would be a guy that would be a project, right? And you have one of the best developmental guys there for his player development and field handling, right? One of the top assistants that's going to be able to put his hands on him and be able to work with this young fella and get him right. I mean, you keep him tough, and then he has opportunity to learn from one of the greatest to ever play the game of basketball. And once again, another wing getting picked.
Well, now Portland is on the clock, but remember this pick is actually headed to Detroit because of the Jeremy Grant trade that Adrian Wojnarowski reported yesterday. You can see all of the details there on the screen. The Trailblazers, they get Jeremy Grant to pair with Damian Lillard, 2022 second-round pick. And then you can see all of the picks and then also the cap space. That's the really big deal for the $43 million in cap space that the Detroit Pistons now own.
Absolutely. I mean, and they open it up. You know why? I'm going to go back to it again. DeAndre Ayton. You know, I know Troy Weaver, and I know what he likes, and he's got his eyes on DeAndre Ayton. This guy's a 2010 and 3-block type guy in this league.
And just like that, the pick is in. Let's send it back to the podium once again. Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum, take it away.
With the 36th pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Portland Trail Blazers select Gabriele Procida from Como, Italy.
Yeah, Procida is a 20-year-old, probably one of the best shooters in the draft. 6'8", 193, athletic wing. Can do a little bit of everything here. Can get on the offensive glass, can keep tip-downs, can get out in transition and steal. The likelihood is that this might be a stash pick where you probably don't see him for a couple of years, but great value for Detroit at 36. As far as I said, one of the best shooters in this draft.
Marks, thank you so much for that insight. The Sacramento Kings, they are now back on the clock, but I do want to go back. Just one of the best moments I thought of the first round was watching Jaden Ivey share his moment with his mother, the hugs that they shared, and he sat down with our Monica McNutt. Take a listen.
As Janae said, this is sort of a win for all of us in the women's basketball community. Jane, I'm going to give you a second to get your stuff together. We have a surprise for you. We want you to check out this video.
Jaden, it's Enrique. I just want to say congratulations on being drafted in the first round. That's crazy. I'm even saying this, just seeing this little boy grow up, wanting to be in the gym all the time, working on his game every single day to become this young man, superstar athlete, and you're about to go crazy in the league. I'm a firm believer that you're really about to take over this league. So I love you. I'm proud of you. It's your time to go crazy, and, you know, I'm always in your corner.
Enrique Agumawale, of course, a tremendous player with the Dallas Wings in the WNBA. You good? You ready? All right. Well, tell me about the emotion.
Oh, man. This is everything, man. I work day in and day out to just get to this level. And, you know, I know I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. And I'm just so happy.
Neil, I'm not gonna lie. I thought you would be the one crying. You are so it. But as you look at the baby achieve his dreams and know how much of an impact you had in the example that you set, what's this like for you?
I'm speechless almost. You know, like this is his dream come true. You know, to be in Detroit, we have so many amazing roots in Detroit. To be able for him to, you know, be able to walk on that stage, and I'm just so joyful. I'm so happy for him. So I'm just taking it all in, soaking it all in.
Speechless could make my job really tough, sis. Okay, now for the Detroit Pistons, either one of you can answer as a basketball head coach at Notre Dame, or you can answer for yourself. What can they expect as you join their organization?
I'm gonna give it my all every single day. I'm gonna work my hardest, you know, to help my team win. And, you know, I'm just going to give it my all.
Congratulations, Jaden. Congratulations, Mom, Miel. Enjoy the rest of the night. You got it.
I just want to remind everybody of the special relationship that Miel and Jaden have. She's the head coach, as Monica mentioned, of the Notre Dame women's basketball team. She also coached with the Memphis Grizzlies. She coached John Morant, and she coached him. Just an incredibly special moment. That was such a wonderful interview. Thank you, Monica. The Kings are on the clock, but this pick is actually on the way to Dallas, and that pick is in, so let's send it back to the podium to find out who is headed to the Mavericks.
With the 37th pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Sacramento Kings select Jaden Hardy from the NBA G League's Team Ignite.
It's about time. You know what? A lot of teams are going to regret not picking him and passing up on this young man. I tell you, he is a special talent, and his game is made for the NBA. That's what I tell you, Malika.
Jaden Hardy, we just heard from Jaden Hardy, the last man in the green room. You can see the emotion as he hugs his family, as he makes his way to the podium. The number 2 prospect, he actually played with his brother Amari on the G League Ignite, headed to shake Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum's hands. It almost, watching him do that after sitting and waiting and the anticipation, Jay, I can only imagine waiting to hear your name called for that long.
I agree with Bert that Jaden Hardy is a really talented player. He's a McDonald's All-American in high school. He's from Detroit. He's a shot creator, catch and shoot guy. He's very good with that. He was inefficient in his year with the G League Ignite. He only shot 35% from the field and 27% from 3. But man, this guy is he's a flamethrower. He's a bucket getter. Maybe it gave somebody some pause that he was a little bit turnover prone this last year and needs to refine his game. But long term, he's got a lot of ability as a one-on-one scorer. He shot 40% in catch and shoot situations, and he can create his own space.
Yeah, absolutely. And he reminds me a lot of Buddy Hield. The way that he's able to get buckets, not just catch and shoot, but Buddy Hield has a lot to his game to say. The same with Jaden Hardy. And I can't wait for him to get to the league and prove a lot of people wrong. See, here's the thing, right? It's not where you get drafted. It's when you get drafted. And like Jay said, it starts then, right? And then I know a lot of people that got drafted in the lottery and in the first round, and they didn't make it. So it's about having the opportunity and embracing the opportunity and going in there and proving yourself.
He joined us on NBA Today to prepare for the draft, and he said that what he cares about at the end of the day is winning, and sometimes that fuel to prove people wrong is all you need. Well, the next pick is in, so let's send it back to the podium once again.
With the 38th pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Kennedy Chandler from the University of Tennessee.
Kennedy Chandler, he had a whopping 74 steals, the 3rd most by an SEC freshman since '92, Jay.
Yeah, he led Tennessee in scoring, assists, and you mentioned it in steals. He was the SEC Tournament MVP. He's small. He's only 6 feet tall, but he's got long arms, gets a lot of deflections, over 2 steals per game. What really impressed me was in the month of March, he shot 57% from 3. Really good in pick and roll situations. I remember him torching Colorado on the road in pick and rolls, and averages just about 5 assists per game. And has a 41-inch vertical to go with that 6'5" wingspan. But he had 4 games with 5 steals or more, including a high of 7. So he can impact the game on the defensive end.
Well, you said that he's small, but look, his watch party is not as back in Memphis, Tennessee, where he is hosting his friends, his family, to share this special moment with him. You can see it there. He's a little bit of a soft-spoken guy, but this is his moment, and he wanted to make sure everyone was there to shine with him. We will have so much more from the NBA Draft second round when we continue after this.
If you can choose to be kind to your body with this bar made with almonds, imagine what other kind choices you can make.
A farmer to solve world hunger.
I don't know anything about farming.
Or you could start by doing something small. Live kind.
What are the bugs? Not your family. Zevo is made with essential oils, which attack bugs' biological systems. It gets rid of the bugs, plus is safe for use around Zevo. People-friendly, bug-deadly.
Making friends again, Billy?
Hi. Excuse me. I didn't quite get that. I'm hard of hearing.
Oh, hey, don't forget about the tense music, too.
What did you say, too? I said suspicious. Aren't they the same thing?
Can we move on, guys? Please.
Alexa, turn on the subtitles. And dim the lights. Okay, dim the lights.
jeans.
The Edge Pizza from Pizza Hut is back. Loaded with toppings all the way to the edge of the thin and crispy crust. I think I just blacked out and ate like 6 slices. Where am I? Am I in a Pizza Hut commercial? The Edge from Pizza Hut. No one out Pizza Hut.
Are you the one others rally around? Inspire soldiers to follow your lead. See your vision clearly, that they're decisive. Explore more than 200 careers that go out and fight.
Celebrating 100 years of Center Court at the Championships, Wimbledon on ESPN and ESPN Plus.
Why is everyone talking about beets? They're nature's superfood secret. Total Beets from Force Factor help boost heart-healthy energy, support blood pressure, improve circulation, and increase nitric oxide. Rush to Walmart for great-tasting Total Beets from Force Factor, the #1 beets brand in America.
Introducing the all-new one-wheel GT and Pine X. GT, built with more power to crush new terrain. Pine X, twice the range to take on the city. Tuning boards to make everywhere epic. Get riding today at onewheel.com.
Poshmark is the perfect side hustle. There's so much I can sell. Bags, clothes, and even electronics. It's so easy. I can list in 60 seconds or less. I can't imagine a better side hustle.
Bye guys, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
I think wish I started sooner. If you could start yesterday, do that. Regrow your hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. This is 4 hands down.
11 days, 75 games. See the stars of tomorrow. The Orlando Magic, they take on the Houston Rockets. That means we're going to see Paolo Banchero in action during the NBA 2K23 Summer League starting on July 7th. Tickets and experiences on sale now at NBAevents.com. We saw Kennedy Chandler get drafted. He's not actually going to San Antonio, according to our Adrian Wojnarowski. He is on his way to Memphis. And we also saw Khalifa Jock get drafted. Our Bobby Marks has more.
Khalifa, part of the Senegal national team, only 20 years old, played 60 games at the high level of the ACB in Spain. Rim running, lob catcher, a athletic big here. Played against Team USA last year at the FIBA U19. That's a team that had Chet Holmgren, Jaden Ivey, Johnny Davis, Peyton Watson, 4 first-round picks, and went for 20-12 in that game.
So stacked is what you're telling me. He's played against some serious talent, Jay. When you have that kind of experience coming into the draft, how can that separate you?
Well, I mean, all these players that have international experience, I think it only helps. But, I mean, you look at Jonathan's body, long and athletic, but he's really well built. And you have a guy that can run like he can run. He really changes ends extremely well. But I think for all these guys, like, I would recommend to any young player play USA basketball for an American game. Because get that international experience and play, get to practice with other players of your caliber, I think only helps your development.
Absolutely. I do want to go back, though, to Jaden Hardy. It's someone that we potentially could have seen go a little bit higher. How do you evaluate what transpired there?
Well, I mean, look, you have a guy that you think is a first-round talent that goes at the start of the second round. It's really not that big of a deal. It seems like it is. You wonder sometimes. The NBA teams aren't in the business of sending messages, but messages are being taken from this. Shady Sharp doesn't play at all, gets taken in the lottery. Jaden Hardy plays, doesn't play as well, and he's in the second round.
There you go. Let's send it back to the podium.
The other trades to announce. The Denver Nuggets trade Jermichael Green and a future conditional first-round pick to the Oklahoma City Thunder for the draft rights to Peyton Watson, the 30th pick, and 2 future second-round picks. With the 40th pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Bryce McGowens from the University of Nebraska.
And he is actually on his way to Charlotte, not the Minnesota Timberwolves. You can see him in the stands, getting the news, on the phone. What makes him so special, Jay?
Well, he's a high scorer. He's a guard forward hybrid. He's athletic, very talented. averaged about 17 points per game and 5 rebounds for Fred Hoiberg in Nebraska. And he's got a ton of moves, and he can make high difficulty shots. So he only shot 27% from 3-point range, but he's a very good pick and roll handler, really aggressive with the ball in his hands and gets downhill to attack defenses. But he shoots a really good percentage from the foul line, 83%. And I think that bodes well for him to really improve that 3-point shooting, because he's an excellent mid-range player. That makes him Nebraska's first player picked. What, is that his first guy since Tyronn Lue? Or he was a first rounder? That was the last first rounder back in the 90s.
Last and Lynch.
Well, you can see him having his moment there with Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum. As you mentioned, though, he will be on the move, even though it says Timberwolves up there. The moment of the handshake, taking it all in. And now, the Pelicans, once again, they're on the clock. And I mentioned it earlier when we were talking about the Pelicans. It seems synonymous, right, with Zion Williamson, who missed the entire season. They acquired C.J. McCollum, who is now doing a bit of work with us as well.
Did you see that suit he had on today? C.J. McCollum would have won. He would have won best suit in the draft.
I mean, him and Paolo were kind of going 1 and 2 there a little bit.
I don't know. You know, in this thing, this new generation, ties are out.
I like ties. I like
you know,
ties.
I mean, you gotta have the drip. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the drip. No, I don't have the drip.
I don't know. I've seen you pull up with some pretty big hook-size chains, Jay. I don't know if we can handle all that drip. There's some big chains that I've seen you wear on our sets. All right, let's get back to the podium before this goes too far off the rails.
With the 41st pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select E.J. Liddell from The Ohio State University.
E.J. Liddell, he described himself as a player who just gets it done, Jay.
And I agree with that. Another guy, 6'7", really long, and he really improved his offensive game. He was more of a low post player his first couple years at Ohio State, but he moved out and played far more on the perimeter. He's got a good shot, but he's a really good shot blocker. He can change shots with his length, his timing, his athleticism. He's got really good feet and plays with tremendous energy and effort. But he can post up, he can step away and shoot the 3-point range, turnaround jumper, just mature, really good leader that's very, very productive. And he's well conditioned. He really improved his body, and he showed how committed he is. I think he's a first-round talent that got into the second round.
Well, he's also unafraid to guard the best player on any given other team that he's playing against. The New York Knicks are now on the clock, so I want to check in with our senior NBA insider, Adrian Wojnarowski. Hey, Woj.
Hey, Malika, some disappointment in the building. The Knicks traded out of number 11. They made a deal with Oklahoma City, got 3 future first-round picks, and then they were part of the 3-team deal that sent Jalen Duren from Charlotte through New York to Detroit, and also uploaded Kemba Walker and his $9.5 million contract. And listen, the goal for this Knicks team right now, gather up assets using those first-round picks that they can use in future trades and get salary cap space to make a run in free agency at Dallas Mavericks guard Jalen Brunson. And so their goal is to try to lure Brunson to New York. His former agent, Leon Rose, is the president of the Knicks, and they just hired his father, Rick Brunson, as an assistant coach. One more thing, Kemba Walker, who lands in Detroit in that deal, I'm told that he's expected to negotiate a contract buyout with the Pistons and become a free agent this summer.
Woj, thank you. I know a lot of Knicks fans were wondering why exactly that trade transpired. Now it makes a little bit more sense when you think about the amount of cap space that they could have, the assets they're trying to gather to offer up some salary to someone like Brunson.
I love Jalen Brunson. I think he will be good for the New York Knicks. Do I think he will be great? I don't know about that. I don't know if he's a guy that's a number 1 type player or option. I know he's a guy that's a number 3 or maybe a number 2 to a great number 1. But anything the Knicks can get at this moment, is a great deal.
Well, he was a great number 2 to an excellent number 1 in Luka Doncic during this playoff run. They could not have gone that deep without him. All right, let's send it back to the podium and then
With the 42nd pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the New York Knicks select Trevor Keels from Duke University.
Jay, there you go.
Trevor Keels, another Dookie. And his versatility, Jay, is one of the things that you liked.
Well, he's built like a tank, just a barely guard. Averaged close to 12 points a game last year at 25 early on in the season against Kentucky. A really good competitor. Shot 31% from three-point range, took about 5 of those a game, and a solid mid-range game. He can create off pick and roll. So just a wrecking ball in transition and a good passer.
And he reminds me a lot of Desmond Banks. Just a ball of muscle, a guy that's a knockdown shooter, who can do other things, very underrated in other areas. Desmond Banks is, but he's a star in his role and spacing the floor and coming off of pin downs and things to that nature. When you talk about the ball of muscle, and Banks popping out everywhere, I see Banks popping out his ears right now.
That got incredibly visceral very, very quickly with that ball of muscle description. Duke is a muscle school, though. Look at all the picks that they've had go tonight. Jay can pump up his chest just a little bit more, so just a smidge taller than he already does. He towers over me. The Clippers are on the clock next, so we're going to take a short break. It's the first time we're going to see the Clippers on the clock tonight. That's coming up next, right after this.
Tonight, the best young players in the world join the NBA family.
Do you hoop? Basketball.
It's okay. We fought to get back up. Keep it.
Trouble in the yard.
Don't let your family behind.
There's no way to stop. It's way to finish.
Disney Plus, APG streaming Friday on Disney Plus.
Your team is on a streak. A losing one. You need to scout some new career prospects.
I need Indeed. Indeed you do.
An Indeed resume gets right to work for you. It helps you adapt your skills and make sure you stand out so you can find that better fit fast.
Can you think of a time things didn't go as you planned?
How much time do we have?
Choosing T-Mobile is like paying for this, but getting that. And with our new price lock guarantee, you won't need to worry about price hikes. Because unlike AT&T, we won't raise the price of your rate plan. Another way customers get more at T-Mobile.
We always believed the welcoming spirit was a small town. Turns out, we were wrong. Wherever Jim Beam is welcome, he'll be welcome too.
A monster was attacking, but the team remained calm. Because with Miro, they could problem solve together and find the answer that was right under their nose. Or his nose.
PNC Bank believes that if a pair of goggles can help your backhand get better, then your bank should help you budget even better. Virtual Wallet is so much more than a checking account. Its low cash mode feature gives you at least 24 hours of extra time to help you avoid an overdraft fee.
You see that?
Virtual Wallet with low cash mode from PNC Bank. One way we're making a difference.
Applebee's late night. Because half off is just more fun. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
Can a cream really reduce wrinkles? More than 100 women tried L'Oreal Triple Power.
The wrinkles look so much softer now.
Triple Power visibly reduces wrinkles, burns, and brightens.
I'm amazed. I saw results in 1 week.
With Vitalift Triple Power from L'Oreal Paris.
It does what it says.
So, we're getting that house we told you guys about.
You're buying a house?
Yeah. So just get no guarantees.
Yeah, no money down.
Well, my office gives us free bagels. But that's cool.
Sunday, Freddie Freeman heads back to Atlanta as the Dodgers take on the Braves at 7 Eastern on ESPN. Our coverage begins at 6 with baseball tonight, Sunday night countdown. So while we were away, the Clippers, they were on the board. Kawhi Leonard, he suffered a right knee injury in June of 2021 in Game 4 against the Jazz. The last 2 seasons in Los Angeles, there are 26 points, 6.8 rebounds, 5 assists per game. The Clippers are a team that could really do some damage in the West next year, particularly if they get healthy. They made some picks while we were away. So Musa Diabate is headed to Los Angeles. Bobby, what do you think?
Another upside pick for a Clipper team that's been known for focusing on player development here. 20 years old, athletic, 6'11", 220 pounds, 9 points, 6 rebounds here. I think you're probably looking at, when we're getting this part of the draft right now, we're looking at players that are likely going to be tagged with a 2-way contract and just focus on development, and then down the road, have your foundational piece, for the future.
Ryan Rollins was also picked while we were away. That 44 pick is actually headed to the Warriors, according to our Adrian Wojnarowski, Jim.
I love this pick. Ryan Rollins out of Toledo, 6'4", really long arms. He's got a 6'10" wingspan. He's a skilled combo guard that I think is a sleeper in this second round. His size, length, handles it, and a terrific pick-and-roll scorer. A mid-range marksman that shoots 80% from the free throw line, rebounds his position, and he's a really active defender. This is a terrific pick in the second round.
Well, now the Charlotte Hornets are on the clock. The pick is in, so let's send it back to Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum once again.
With the 45th pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Josh Minot from the University of Memphis.
Josh Minot, the number 70 overall recruit in the 2021 ESPN 100 Day.
Yeah, he's an athlete, and he can really run the floor. Good finisher. Didn't play a whole lot at Memphis this last year, but just like Bobby Mark said, it's a development pick. Because of his athleticism and his undeniable talent, he wasn't very productive in his first year at Memphis, but we've seen a number of players like this, a couple of them going in the first round that haven't realized on this talent yet. They're coming in maybe a little bit earlier than arguably they should, but he'll have to do his development in the NBA system, whether he's on a 2-way, the G League, whatever it is. But he's being picked for what he can be, not necessarily what he is now.
And guess what? They all have been wings. I'll tell you what, the wings.
You're correct. We will have more on wings, whether it is players or barbecue, when we come back after this break.
The next sale is a digital treasure trove charming Elliot's private data. Not number one, her emails. The one she's opened and read, drugstore purchases. A recent transaction, I hear 600, 620, 640, 660. She thinks.
Eliminating braids is as easy as combing your hair. With Just for Men Easy Comb and Color. Just twist and comb. Getting natural looking results.
Let's get this meeting started.
Has never been easier. Most men trust Just for Men.
Yes. I'll get you the file.
Sounds intense.
Clients. What do you do?
Retired?
Tech.
Nah, Army.
Mika, a 6'11", 227-pound, 21-year-old from France. Offensive rebounder, averaged 2.4 offensive rebounders, a rim catcher, above the rim player, 1.6 blocks per year this year. This is a player that is likely going to be stacked overseas as a developmental player, and then maybe we see 2 or 3 years down the road.
He also represented France at the 2019 FIBA U18 European Championship in Greece. He helped his team to a fifth-place finish there. You can see him making his way, putting the hat on, getting his handshake. He actually played soccer until the age of 13, and now he's officially been drafted into the NBA. This has been just such an incredible night. I know that we're at the point now. There's still fans in the stands. We are watching these young men get to live out their dreams. The NBA just does such an incredible job around town doing the NBA community cares events with all this. But just to watch this night for all these young men, it doesn't matter, Jay. If you're picked number 1 or you're picked in the middle of the second round, these young men are sitting in the stands just waiting to hear their names.
Yeah, it's a big night. No matter when they sign their contract. And then they're going to have to perform. I mean, again, this is the starting block. So this is a celebratory night, but it's just the start. And, you know, this is big boy school now. They got to go perform after this. And I think that a large number of them are prepared for that.
Absolutely, and that's why we've seen these new paths like the G League Ignite, some of these other paths to the NBA to try to help even increase the preparedness for this next level. We have more from the draft coming up after this.
Wala na. Yung 5 na lang kukunin na yun. Wala pa si ano.
We will find out again. June 29th will be the big day when Kyrie will have to let the world know whether he opts in or not. There'll be a major storyline in our free agent fever show, which tip off on June 30th. That's next Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's 1 p.m. Pacific. And maybe earlier with news break. Stay tuned to NBA TV all throughout free agency when a lot is expected to happen.
Saan kasi ano next?
Lunch?
Let's talk about the offense for a moment. Sotto, he managed to carve out a special niche in the NBA. He was involved heavily on the pick and roll, especially as a roller. Per tracking data from Instat, the 36ers scored 1.33 points per possession with Sotto as the cover, and 1 point possession, and he was involved as the roller. Both of those marks are above the league average. Now, Sotto's 7'3", almost 275 pounds, and the dude's mobility and his awareness is higher. Sotto posted up a lot. About almost 20% of his offense came from the low block. And he has the second highest figure of his portfolio. But Adelaide only.
AJ Griffin, all out of Duke, taking their hats. And then Auburn has had a couple of guys too.
Ilan na lang?
Barr Smith
Walo
Jr.,
na lang.
as well as Walker Kessler. You can see him there
Ilan na yan?
grabbing his hat. And
60 ata
Kentucky,
yan.
they've had Shaden Sharp, and then also Ty Washington
Pick ano ba to?
selected. And then the D-League Ignite has had an excellent night. We're going to see more and more of this. Dyson Daniels, Marshawn Beauchamp, who just told our Monica McNutt that God never gave up on me in the interview. And then you can also see Jaden Hardy there shaking hands with the commissioner, the last man left in the green room. This is the most picks by free drafts by a team. You see Duke, G-League Ignite, and Arizona, their numbers, how they all stack up there. Another pick is in, so we're going to send it back to
With
Deputy
the
Commissioner.
48th pick in the 2022 NBA draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Kendall Brown from Baylor University.
Walang kanya.
Kendall Brown out of Baylor, the freshman. He's one of 6
Kendall Brown, okay. What's up, everyone? We're back. I know you guys enjoyed those girls, but listen, we're going to talk some basketball.
Terrific in transition, explosive athleticism.
Let me turn off this. Here we go. Kendall Brown. Let's talk about Kendall Brown real quick. Let's see what he's working with. Yo, so what was everybody's favorite part of the draft so far? Ty Sotto, I swear, I promise you guys, he's getting drafted. I mean, draft Ty Sotto in the comments. Spam draft Ty Sotto, please. No, we're not boycotting NBA. Alright, let's check him out. And the Brown. Alright, so what it says here, he's an explosive athlete, which the Timberwolves need. He has the second highest leaping vertical at the combine. Alright, look at that. He's great positional size, he's 6'8", one of the longest wingspans. He uses his advantage, particularly on defense. Perfect, so you got, what he's doing for the Timberwolves right now. He's adding a defensive presence for some. Now you got the Cavs they took. Yes, sir.
48 pick.
But the Cavs, they can add a wing. Defensive wing, they'd be straight. These are, I think, for the Cavaliers right now, these are the two most important picks. The 49th and 56th. I'm on live stream. Alright. And stop calling me. My guys playing 2K with it. Let's see something like that. Yo, who was your favorite draft pick tonight in the second round? I've been watching the draft house from Brent King, okay? Let me know. What kind of this? Hey Joe, are you still here?
Assuming I'm not too freaking hungover.
Isaiah Mobley from the University of Southern California.
Isaiah Mobley, okay. 6'10" forward. Let's hear it. What you stand
Brother, Isaiah Mobley, he's a very good passer. And a skilled big guy that played mostly on the perimeter, can stretch it out, knock down a shot. And he was the top scorer for USC this past year on a very good team.
Yeah.
I think as he matures and gets in better physical condition, I think he can tighten up physically. He's got ability.
Well, and clearly he is the brother of Evan Mobley, who is also on the Cavaliers. But originally, Isaiah, he declared for the 2021 NBA draft, returned to USC for his junior year. How did that
Nasaan ba yun na yan? Yung isang Mobley nasa Cavaliers din. Kapatid niya. Sasama sila.
I think the next step for him is just on the conditioning side.
We'll have more from the NBA draft coming up after this.
Tigda lang. Hindi makasama si Sotto ah.
I assumed that's not we stay put. Turns out it can be on the move. We were breathing that day and night. That's when we started using Swiffer. In just a few minutes, Duster captures dust before it gets airborne. It traps amongst dust in one swipe. Yes.
For our floors, Sweeper's heavy-duty cloths easily trap dust, dirt, and hair, locking it in. See you, dust.
And Swiffer partners with the American Lung Association to support clean air.
Ooh, that looks spicy. Yeah, though. The kick, the sing, the spice, the razzmatazz.
KFC, spicy chicken chip. Oh, it's really hot and crispy. That finger looking good.
Hey, hold up. If you want me to go home, then you gotta make everybody taste the confetti.
Nah, to be the go, gotta have all the others to put on a clinic. Advantages, ice spread.
Let's do this.
Can't be a bowl without an peak. With formal vegetables and boiled nuts. The greatest order of all time.
Everyone has their Go Oats. Get it delivered with DoorDash.
Confetti, baby.
Your team is on a streak. A losing one. You need to scout some new career prospects.
Indeed you do.
An Indeed resume gets right to work for you. It helps you adapt your skills and make sure you stand out so you can find that better fit fast.
Can you think of a time things didn't go as you planned?
How much time do we have?
This pepperoni was carefully placed by hand by a pizza maker at Papa John's. Just like this one, and that one over there. Ooh, and even these in the crust. Get yourself the new epic pepperoni stuffed crust pizza, only at Papa John's.
Kinder Bueno. It's crispy. It's creamy. It's not your average chocolate bar. Smooth milk chocolate, crispy wafer, creamy hazelnut filling. It's Kinder Bueno.
At Duracell, we're obsessed with bringing a better battery to life. New Duracell with power-boost ingredients help this headlamp shine at its brightest for longer. And the longer this headlamp shines, the more interesting your stories become.
We always believed the welcoming spirit was a small town. Turns out, we were wrong. Wherever Jim Beam is welcome, he'll be welcome too.
Life is about balance. If I get the proper amount of sleep, then I'm gonna be ready for whatever's coming. I use Aura Ring. It's always letting me know everything that's going on with my body. The accuracy is what sets Aura apart. My sleep score is something that I'm always paying attention to. It's literally part of my morning routine. Always trying to make the most out of this thing we call life.
In the Lightning stave off elimination, over the Avalanche be crowned Stanley Cup champions. The Stanley Cup Final, Game 5, tomorrow on ABC and ESPN+.
While we were away, Mateo Spaniolo was drafted. Bobby Marks, what do you got?
Well, this is a Tim Connolly special here. The new Timberwolves GM here. Spaniolo has won 5 teenagers this year to average 25 minutes or more at high level ball over in Europe. 44% from the field here. 4 games of 5 assists more. So this is a likely stash. Another one of these players that we will probably see 2 or 3 years from now.
Well, and now the Golden State Warriors, thank you, Bobby, are on the clock. We will see who they will be adding to their roster as we send it back to Deputy Commissioner Ron Taylor.
Yeah, the trades were announced. The San Antonio Spurs trade the draft rights to Kennedy Chandler, the 38th pick, to the Memphis Grizzlies for a future second-round pick and financial considerations. And with the 51st pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Golden State Warriors select Tyrese Martin from the University of Connecticut.
Tyrese Martin, drafted by the Golden State Warriors, but according to our Adrian Wojnarowski, on his way to Atlanta, Jay.
Yeah, Tyrese Martin is a shooter, big, strong-bodied swingman. You know, he got an invite to the NBA Combine and did well there. He's a strong, explosive wing that shot 43% from three and has shown a good deal of talent in the open court. You know, he's got speed, he's got athleticism, he gets off the floor, and he rebounds the ball at the 6'6" weight, averaged about 7.5 rebounds a game, and does a really good job defensively with closeouts on shooters.
And once again, he is on his way to Atlanta for our Adrian Wojnarowski. We will have more from the 2022 NBA Draft after this.
Come on, tell me what happened. Somebody took us back in town. It's a setup.
We're gonna get through this, okay?
Think I'm losing my mind.
This mission is over.
You're putting us in an untenable position here.
Nonsense to people in Milwaukee, what's happening?
If you listen to those call.
All right, you guys, I'm back, and Sotto has not been drafted yet. We don't know, and they said the Indiana Pacers were looking at him, But why would you take him at 58? I mean, that's something that would be a big ego booster for him. Help him out. At the end of the day, if they don't take him at the 58 pick, then they should sign him as an undrafted free agent. That would probably be the smartest move. I mean, by him being one of the teams that worked him out. So if he doesn't, what number is on the draft right now? It is number 53. And there's a total of 58 picks. We would wait to 58. Yeah, that's what it's looking like. And like I said, even if they don't, he'll probably be picked up by the Pacers. Let's see who Pacers got. Just a minute.
The Boston Celtics select J.D. Davison from the University of Alabama.
Freshman guard from the University of Alabama. He's one of 4 Division I freshmen to record 250 points, 125 rebounds, and 125 assists today.
Well, J.D. Davison is a small guard, but he's really explosive.
With big hair.
He does have big hair, doesn't he? The kids really get on the floor. Very good in transition. Had some turnover issues. Is not a shooter. You wonder exactly what his game is, but yeah, he is.
Hey Pacers, draft Kai and your subscribers will become 100 million in just a minute. Don't forget to follow me on my Scotty Ice channel. And yes, hopefully Kai does get selected 58th overall. You see? But like I said, if they have worked him out, they really don't have to take with the 58th overall pick. It'll be a big ego booster, and they can just take him as an undrafted free agent. I doubt that the Sacramento Kings would, but you never know. Maybe they should draft Sotto. Millions of Filipino fans. Yeah, it would be a good look for the NBA. I mean, the first fully blooded Filipino. The 55th. Who's at the 55th pick? Apologize, you guys. Oh, the Golden State Warriors. I don't think that he should go to the Golden State Warriors just off the fact that he won't get that much playing time. It'll be hard for him to really develop, and I believe he'll probably be stuck in the G League for 3-4 years if that is the case. Nah, man, he can't be the 100th pick, but he will be picked up. I know he'll get a chance in the summer league. It's okay, people. Maybe it's not his time. He's gonna get picked up though, and yeah, they got Wise. Yeah, they do have Wiseman, and he didn't even get played just off of injury. But they are stacking. Kevon Looney most likely won't be on that team because he will get a big contract. So it's going to be the Cavs or Pacers. I believe it's the Pacers or the Kings. The Cavs, they have so much hype already, and I don't see them playing, alongside Kevin Love. I'm sorry, guys. Joe Ball didn't get picked, no. I'm sorry, guys. Apologize for that. I'll put my money on the 58th pick. Kai. Let's just see. What you guys think about the pick so far? What do you like what the Indiana Pacers did? They ended up getting Benedict. And according to CBS Sports, they gave him an A, more than any other projected lottery pick. He's one of those stocks I raised the most after evaluating him compared to what I thought during the season. 6'6", athletic wing, who can do a lot of things, has an all-star potential. He does have all-star potential. They do not select Kyle. Third round, first pick. Come on, no Kai hate. But I guarantee you, before the night is over, he will have 18. A lot of people are high on Kai Sotto. I even seen the Flight Mike say that he was going to do a video on him. And I have a video of Kai Sotto, Game Greens, this channel. Even I put one on my Miami Heat page. I said that they were going to pick Nikola Jokic. And even Kai Sotto could be picked up by him. If you want Kai Sotto in a jersey, you will want it to be with the Miami Heat, Indiana Pacers, Toronto Raptors, or even the Dallas Mavericks. I wouldn't put him on the Sacramento Kings. It just wouldn't be good for his production, in my opinion. Kai is hype only. I mean, have you seen his highlights? He has experience. He's played against other NBA players. And whenever it comes down to foreign players, just to me, excuse me. Yeah. Whenever it comes down to foreign players, you guys, I mean, they're going against NBA talent. They have some guys overseas that are actually good. So they're 18 years old, 19 years old, playing against grown men. They're playing against grown professionals. I mean, whenever you look at the Olympics or Olympic play, these teams can't get up with the United States. It's not the end of the world. Kyle won't be drafted. We still support him. I'm telling you guys, he will get picked. Even if it's not in the draft, he will get drafted. I mean, he will get signed. Let's see what they say, you guys.
You know, one thing about the Warriors and their front office, right? They never panic because when you have Clay, Steph, and Draymond, it's almost like you could do a plug and replace. That don't mean that you take players for granted, but those three are so good that you could go out there and find someone to come in and fit right on in. That you don't have to, just be in a panic to pay somebody. But I will say this: it's going to be interesting to see who's going to do the sacrificing on their team. When you have young guys like Jordan Poole, Kaminga, Moses Moody, win a championship early, right? Win the championship early. Younger guys, their next thing is they want to stack up their individual accolades. So I want to see, like, if Klay Thompson and Steph Curry and Draymond Green are going to pass the keys, give the keys to those young fellas and let them get their opportunity. I watched the Celtics do it with Ray John Rondo when I was there in 2008. Paul, Ray, and KG passed the keys to Rondo. And, I mean, they let me drive every night.
You just wanted to say Moses Moody again, get another shot at this. I know, I'm proud of you. I want to bring it up on Off Insider Bobby Rose because I hear what you're saying, but to me, it's a culture.
Hey man, if Kai isn't drafted, man, I will be looking for that $20. I'm not gonna lie to you. Cash App, Scotty Ice Media, or I don't even want that. Make sure you subscribe to my Scotty Ice channel and my Scotty Ice Miami channel, or the Scotty Ice Milwaukee Bucks channel. Boycott NBA. Oh, we can't do that. I'm telling you, Kai is ready. He's gonna do his opportunity. That's why they're working off. They're working off for a reason. He has that potential. They know that he's a developmental piece. And right now, the way the NBA is going, they want some young talent. They want athletic, versatile guys that can switch to every single position. Of course, Kai has a long way to get to that. Alright, man, appreciate that, man. Hopefully he doesn't get good now so I can get my 20. Look, man, you gotta do the 20 and you gotta subscribe to my Scotty Ice channel. But let me tell you, yeah, the NBA draft is a little, it's a game because, like we've seen, Marjan Beauchamp, he went to the Milwaukee Bucks. Tony Jokic, oh man, like him going to the Miami Heat will help the Heat Nation. That's the team that I wanted him to go to. I did a video on it last night, and I did Tony Jokic and Kai Sotto. So that's the best team, in my opinion, to go to if they want to develop young talent. I am telling you, you guys, even the Indiana Pacers, who are in the development stage, that is taking long. But hopefully, we see Nicholas Williams and Scott Ashley in 10 if we did not get drafted. Yes, we can't do that. Well, me and him, we stay together. We do work on NBA content together, so it'll be appreciated. Oh yeah, always. Let me see. Thanks for the stream. Oh yeah, we got you. We got you. Now Jello Ball, Angelo, I don't know what they're doing with him, man. He can sign with either, well, LeVar said he's going to sign with either the Charlotte Hornets or the Chicago Bulls. Let's just hope that does happen because he is a very underrated player. I'm surprised that the Hornets did let him go just after the performance that he had in the summer league last year. He was able to knock down some threes, and he was better than James Bouknight in my opinion. Yeah, the commercials are too long, guys. That's yeah, it is. Alright, hold on. Let me get the commercials off. Hey, coaching. Jimmy Butler and Miami have some very difficult decisions to make. You see, they have the 27th overall pick and the first round of this year's draft. And while we might be trying to package it in a draft day trade, we still have to look at the facts. We have to at least try to get a player. If we don't get a trade, that will fit this Heat nation. Somebody that works hard can listen on both sides of the court. And honestly, we need to look at players that we can sign that goes undrafted. As we all know, Jimmy Butler is the main star for this Heat team, averaging 21.4 points, 5.9 rebounds, and 5.5 assists per game in the regular season. He also shot 48% from field, but he did shoot 25.3% from three-point range. Now, in your brain like Ryan, you guys looking to move at the fourth spot. So looking at his son, or somebody that's 6'10", 6'11", hopefully we can make it over 3-point shots. Honestly, with the 27th overall pick, if the Nikola Jokic is still on the board, then Miami Heat should take him as their selection. He's a 6'10" big guy, serving as sensation, and he has the skill set to fit in with the Miami Heat.
This one's broken.
Boycott NBA, guys. Kai will be drafted. I mean, they have a few picks left, you guys. We're at number 57.
Wala na. Hindi na drop yung bubo.
Overview. Skylax Media, Nicholas Frames. Hey man, like if y'all want to donate, that is fine. If you don't have it, just make sure you subscribe to Dan Reels and Scotty Ice, or Scotty Ice Miami, or that's Millwall.
57, 58. Dalawa na lang kukunin eh. Ang nakaislo sa pag nakuha. Balik sa NBA.
Let me tell you, I knew for a fact that Paulo Banchero was going to be able to be number 1. I wasn't too high on Jabari Smith or Chet Holmgren, and the Atlanta Magic did exactly what I needed to do. Kai's much better than Porzingis at 20. That is an interesting take. I think the Pacers should pick Kai. Yeah, because they did work him out.
Ha?
And it's just like
Tumubo
the
na ako
fact
rin.
that
Mamaya na ulit ako kain mahapon.
they decide
Alas 5 na.
who they want to pick, and it'll be at the Pacers.
Kumain na kain na.
If
Mamaya
they
na ako.
don't pick him up.
Kumain na ako nila.
Just have to think that they're
Mamaya ako
the
kita.
teams that work them out. And I mean, if they want another player that they feel like
Sa'yo ata
they're
yun, yung ulam doon.
over them, then they might as well take him and then get Kai Sotto as an undrafted free agent. I mean, the only competition is the Pacers. Excuse me. Is the Pacers or the Sacramento Kings. And if it's up to him, I would have to go to the Kings.
Wala na. Wala na. Hindi na ako
He
sa
talked to Detroit Pistons uniform.
Dapat kasi hindi mo na
So that should
sinasabot.
tell you something about the organization.
May sila ng pagkakagras.
Sorry about that.
Defender. He's the son of Slappy Walker, went to Louisville, played in the NBA. He can switch, closes out, he defends pick and rolls at a very high level, and he's versatile. He can play catch and shoot. Shot 35% from the three-point line, and he is a very good rebounder. Averaged over 9 rebounds per game. That led to Pac-12.
And there you go. And that brings us to our final pick of the night. Some of our viewers may be saying, well, wait, I thought there were 60 picks in the NBA draft. Well, usually there is. This year there are only 58. Remember, both Miami and Chicago, they lost their pick for tampering violations. So there will only be 58 young men that are selected. That means the Pacers will bring us to the end of the night. Kirk, I know you said it, but your favorite moment from the draft tonight was what?
I mean, his mom.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, I'm going to keep harping on this. That's what it's all about. Showing those emotions. But you know what was impressive to me was how strong his mother was, right? She didn't shed a tear. She just had to smile. But that goes to show you how she was the leader in that household and how she held them accountable. You know, for us coaching them, you know, in life lessons and coaching them in basketball as well.
I can tell you from experience that every mother is happy when her son gets a job.
And moves out of the house? Is that the next line in that? I mean, Jay, Kendrick has been in this seat for a couple of years. It is my first year in this seat, but we have seen you just dominate this coverage year after year after year. For you, what stood out?
Merck saying Moses Moody. It's a huge moment.
That's my guy.
I am going to cry more than Jaden Ivey after this 6-year pick. I promise you.
58.
58.
See?
But it goes
It's a
down
little
to
treat.
60.
It is right there.
Well, there you go.
54 and 51.
Here it is, just for you. Let's send it back to the podium for the
last
final
pick.
time this evening.
Wala. Hindi nakasama si Kai Sotto. Pero ito ang gustong kumuha sa kanya. Ulit ko yan.
With the 58th pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Indiana Pacers select Hugo Besson from Bordeaux, France.
Hugo Besson, he has waited the entire night. He is here to hear his name called, Bobby Marks.
Yeah, I thought he actually would have gone a little bit early. He played in the Chicago pre-draft, a 6'6", 180-pound guard. Fearless, as you can see, attacking the rim here. Played on the same team as Osman James, French player, 21 years of age, a little bit under the radar passer, 6 games with 4+ assists. So we'll see if he can stay or maybe he goes back overseas.
Well, you guys, it looks like Kai Sotto won't be drafted. However, like I said, they ended up working out Kai Sotto, so he will most likely be an undrafted free agent. That will be picked up for the summer league. It's not the end of the road. Most likely he'll be in the G League. Be called up, depending on how it goes during the regular season. I got you, Dexter. Hey, look, comment under Dexter. Comment under my last